The start and end are all the same for a soldier's life in the machine gun corps.
From the privates down below to the officers way up high.
The last thing to show, even 100 years on, is that the start and end are all the same. An officer in uniform surveys the map in front of him, drinking in the ridges and lines, knowing it will be the last thing he sees before he leaves tomorrow. Slowly, he looks up, accepting all is done, and gazes at the tower rising on the hill. A girl, the same age, stands beside him, clutching her coat to her in the bitter wind. As she looks over the fields, only time separates them. It may be 100 years, but they still share the same view. This mud is the same mud from 1915.
I know there were young people here on the camp, and I found the digging and manual labour hard enough on the dig. I can only imagine how they found on the military training.
This class keeps my uniform together, a uniform that gives me authority and confidence. The clasp fell off too easily and made my uniform less sturdy.
1,001 nails lie beneath the surface floor, surrounded by muddy rock and left beside the door, caked in mud and rust and lying still in the ground. Friendly words of rivalry echo around and around. The handmade iron nails with their square flat-bottomed heads declare,
"We are the officers of the nail world, and we get the comfy beds."
But the long, round-headed nails, produced at the same time, shout, "We are more common than you, but don't throw us out. We hold the timbers together, we're the glue of the site. We keep the structure tight, we're the string of the kite." Yes, declared the officers, but let us remind you of this. We are all buried here, forgotten in the abyss.
The sound of the iron boots. The iron boot heels go. As the next foot rose, the heel fell down to the ground and trampled by a stampede of old friends, being put further and further down. 100 years have passed now, and the noise of spades thudding reminds me of my old life. The layers are peeled away one by one, and the heel saw the light of day for what seemed like forever. Now, even though it's rusted and old, once a castaway, now loved by the teenagers who saved it. "Thank you for finding me and giving me a home again," says the heel. "Thank you."
The start and end are all the same for a soldier's life in the machine gun corps. From the privates down below to the officers way up high. The last thing to show is, even 100 years on, the start and end are all the same.